Technicians channel, and today we're going to be moving into a roadside toolkit or emergency kit. These will vary from person to person depending on vehicle size and where you live and if you're going on a trip. Now obviously if you're going on a long trip, you want to pack more things for your roadside kit, whereas your daily kit can be a little bit smaller. It also depends on vehicle size and stuff like that, so it really does vary. But the main thing that you want besides these roadside kits, one of the things that will prevent a lot of failures is good maintenance on your car. Anytime before going on a long trip, you definitely want to inspect everything, but I still suggest maybe on a bi-weekly or monthly basis, do a good thorough inspection of your vehicle. Check for leaks, belts, hoses, electrical, things like that. Make sure everything is good, and it will prevent a lot of the issues that you might have of getting stuck on the side of the road. So good maintenance on your car is key to keeping your roadside toolkit smaller. But I will be going into mainly the basics of the kit and then some more advanced stuff that you could add to your kit that are really helpful. But a lot of people don't like to carry a big toolkit, so I like to keep it pretty small. But I really hope you guys enjoy the items that I'm going to show you. And if you guys notice anything that I'm missing, please feel free to comment down below of some things that you would add to your kit. And I really hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and as always, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Thank you guys. Hey YouTubers, so this is my to-go box. This isn't necessarily something that I keep in my car. This is just something in case a friend or anybody calls me and needs help because they broke down on the side of the road. I'll ask them what the issue is and adjust this box from where it is. But up top, I just keep a socket set, some screwdrivers, simple things like that. And then down below, just got wrenches, both metric and SAE. Then I keep some ratchets in here. These are my cheaper ratchets, but if I'm going somewhere, I'll remove, a majority of these. And then I'll keep some pliers and adjustable wrenches in here as well. So that's kind of my to-go box, and I adjust it as I go. But now I'll get into some of the bags that I have and the products that I would keep in them for in my car. Okay, YouTubers, so moving into a couple of the bags that I have. This is one of them. This is just a bag from like Walmart. I used to keep a lot of electrical stuff in here because I used to do a lot of electrical stuff for hooking up systems for people. But a bag like this makes a great roadside kit. And it's got pockets on the outside, pockets on the side, little different areas on the inside, keep things separated. You can get these in much larger sizes because this one is pretty small. And then another item I picked up from Walmart a long time ago was one of these just-in cases. And it basically just comes with a bunch of different stuff. I have it all pulled out right now and I'll go over it. But it just comes with a couple pouches in here for you to store stuff. But just a small cheap bag for like $10 from either Walmart or Harbor Freight would work great. So a good bag or a small box would work great for your roadside kit. But now we're going to move into some of the items that you want to keep inside of them. Okay, YouTubers, so I'm going to start off with some of the basics and then we'll get into some specialty stuff and stuff like that. But a good small socket set would do great, something that doesn't take up a lot of space. Obviously, if I had a toolkit, right now I don't really keep much in my Malibu. Most of the time my roadside kit goes in my Camaro, but as you guys know, it's down right now, so I don't need it. But a good small socket set, this is just a 1/4 inch drive socket set. This is something that I would think about keeping in my roadside kit. Or something like this, just because it is fairly small, it doesn't take up a lot of room. So that is one of the common things that you would want to keep in there. And another thing would be either a cheap set of screwdrivers like this, but granted this set does take up a lot of room. So I'm not too sure. Maybe if you have a truck and you have a box in the back of your truck, keeping bigger sets like this isn't that bad of an idea. But if you have a small car and you don't have a lot of room, maybe just purchasing one of these small ratcheting screwdrivers with multiple different bits would save you a lot of room, and a ratcheting screwdriver is always handy to have. So that's next up on my list. Then I would also keep a small pliers set in there, something of a good variety, just so you come across those situations, you have a good variety of pliers. Something that doesn't take up a lot of room, but will be very handy. And then an adjustable wrench, just because even if you keep a small set of wrenches in there, you don't want to have a huge set unless you have a truck. A good adjustable wrench will save you a lot of room, so you don't have to carry as many wrenches on you. Also, it's a good idea to make sure, if your vehicle is newer, maybe just carry a metric set of wrenches. And if you have an older vehicle that's mainly SAE, then just carry those so you don't have to carry both sets. But that's next up on my list. And another thing that's always handy is just a hammer. Whether you get a small one or a large one, a hammer can always be helpful, especially maybe you're having starter issues or something like that and you need to tap on it. But a hammer is always very helpful. Then another thing I always carry on me, or is a good thing to have in your kit, is a multi-tool. Whether you go with a cheap one or an expensive one, it doesn't really matter. You can get them many different styles. This is a Gerber. You can get Leatherman's, or you can go on eBay and get yourself a cheap one. I mean, it's not like you're going to be using it all the time. So, it's got pliers, it's got a knife, a file, scissors, lots of different things, screwdrivers. Very handy to have. So I always either have this on me or in the car just in case. So a multi-tool is very helpful. Next up is a good set of jumper cables. So whether you're down on the side of the road or a friend or somebody if you're passing by needs a jump, it's always handy to have a good set of jumper cables on you. This also comes in that just in case bag. So then I keep a few different things, such as some wire, some electrical wire, zip ties, electrical tape, and different connectors in my kit. For electrical issues, for a quick fix, this is great. Zip ties are always handy to have. Whether you have a plastic piece hanging down underneath your car dragging on the road, you can zip tie it up. Whether you got things loose in the engine bay, this is great. And if you can't use a zip tie, that's where this wire comes in handy. You can always use this to hang your exhaust if it's dragging. A quick fix, if those plastic pieces are hanging down, or if it's something in the engine bay that you need to stop from moving, and a zip tie is not going to do because it will melt. So this is always really handy to have. You don't have to keep an entire roll. You can take some out and just cut off what you need. Electrical tape is always good to have just in case you need to fix something up real quick. And then obviously connectors. But I wouldn't really find myself using these all that much. But it is a little bit safer than just, throwing some wire in there and wrapping some tape around it. So I always keep these on me. Then a nice, doesn't matter what you use, nitrile gloves, mechanics gloves. This comes in that kit as well, just some gloves to protect your hands if you're working on the car. So always have a pair of gloves on you. Then this just in case kit also comes with a little emergency first aid, just some band-aids, some cotton balls, and cleaning wipes and stuff like that. It's always good to have some sort of first aid kit in your vehicle. So even though this is very basic, it's still better than not having anything. Now another thing that people will keep in their cars are an empty gas can or a jug of water just in case they have radiator issues, but some people will keep a gallon of water in their car just in case they get stranded somewhere. Well, if you do that, make sure you only do it before your road trip, because it's actually very unhealthy to drink water that's been sitting in a gallon in the heat. So be careful with that. Still a good idea though. Next up is just this SOS sheet. Basically it's a sticky film that you put in your back window if you need help, and it's a multi-use thing. You can put the plastic back on it and it'll work multiple times, but a good little SOS sign. Then you get this in the just in case kit, and it comes with this really cheap flashlight, and it's not LED or anything. You can barely see this thing at night. So I just swapped it out. I put one of these LED flashlights in there because if you're stuck working on the car in the dark, these are very small but very bright. So these are always extremely handy to have, and you can technically still use it with this and it works just fine. So that's what I did to save some space, and LED flashlights nowadays are much smaller than your older flashlights and much longer lasting. So this is a great thing to have in your roadside toolkit. And another thing I keep in there is either some JB Weld or some super glue. Obviously, if I'm gonna be there a while, maybe I'll need this, but for quick fixes, a good amount of stuff can be fixed with super glue or duct tape, doesn't matter. And then the kit also came with an emergency poncho, just in case you're stuck working in the rain. Then another thing I like to keep in my car is extra lights. These are LEDs, but just an example are, keep an extra headlight in your car, tail light, just in case you get stopped for having a tail light out. You can quickly go in your glove box or your emergency toolkit and grab the bulb and tell them you'll replace it now, and most of the time they'll let you off the hook. Then another thing I like to keep in there is a variety of different fuses. Depending on your vehicle, check what type of fuses your vehicle uses, and just keep a good little container of fuses in there. Now remember, if you don't have the exact fuse for whatever's blown, you can use a smaller fuse. Never use a bigger one because it'll burn out whatever you're trying to make work again. But if you use a smaller one, it'll damage the fuse before the component. So fuses in your toolkit is a great idea. Next, this is just some medical tape that was with that first aid kit. Then I also keep extra batteries for my flashlight and stuff like that. Then hose clamps, various sizes. This is just an example, just some hose clamps, just because if you do have a radiator hose blow, say it splits right at the end where it's connected to the radiator, you could cut that part off and re-clamp it. Say it destroyed the hose clamp or your hose clamp is missing. It's always nice to have at least a couple hose clamps in the vehicle. Then something that not a lot of people carry, they do have emergency versions of this, but an impact is nice in case you have a blowout or something like that. But the bad thing with these are you always have to keep the battery charged, so that might be an issue. But they do sell emergency ones that plug into your cigarette lighter and work off of that. But that's more of an advanced item if you're really going on a long trip and you're worried or anything like that, or if you're an off-roader, it's more for people like that. Then I also have a tow rope or a chain in the vehicle. I prefer a tow rope over a chain. It's just a little bit safer to me. But it's really up to you guys, all depending on your situation and what you can actually carry in your vehicle. But also keep in mind, it's not legal to always tow your vehicle. It all depends on the state, so keep that in mind. But in a real extreme emergency, you don't want to be stuck somewhere, I'm just going to tow the vehicle anyways. So that's also on my list. Now we're going to get into some things that I don't necessarily have, but you should definitely consider getting. Okay, so maybe some other items I would consider is a jump box, whether you get one from Harbor Freight like this. It's something simple, but what's nice about these is you can also get the very small portable ones that are just for jump starting your vehicle like this, but those are just good for jump starting. Great to have because they're very small and portable, but a jump box like this is even better, even though it takes up a lot of space. Maybe just if you have a truck, it's more portable for you. But if you're going on a long road trip, it will help a lot. Not because it's just a battery charger, but most of them will have a air compressor as well. So if you get a flat, you might want to carry some of these, which is a tire plug kit. And if you plug the tire, you're going to need to reinflate it. And having that jump box with the air compressor on it is very handy. So I would definitely consider a jump box or a portable jumper. And then I already mentioned the tire plugs. A good knife. Obviously I showed you guys my multi-tool, so the knife's kind of included in that. Warning triangles. I have them, but I cannot find them. So a good set of warning triangles, or roadside flares, or chem lights. They all work great for protecting you from oncoming traffic, and if somebody is looking for you, it will make it easier for them to find you. But that's basically all I have for you guys. If you guys have any other things that you think would work great in a roadside toolkit, feel free to leave it down in the comments. Okay, YouTubers, so that's basically it as far as the roadside toolkit slash emergency kit. Always make sure to have a little bit of first aid stuff, a good sized bag for whatever you're carrying, make sure it fits your needs, or a box depending on what vehicle you have. One thing I want to mention before I get into the rest of it is something you need to check probably monthly is your spare tire. Whether you have a space saver tire where it comes uninflated and it comes with a can of air that you have to air the tire up, make sure that's all in good condition and the can is full. I really don't care for those. I'd rather have an actual spare tire already inflated, but you still need to check the tread and wear on that as well and make sure it's inflated. But besides that, your basic hand tools, a light, just your real basic stuff. But then you also get into the more advanced stuff depending on if you're an off-roader or you go on a lot of long road trips, then carrying an impact, a jump starter box, a 4-in-1, or if you want to go with the portable compact jump starter, just small things like that. But they can be a lifesaver for going on those long trips. You don't want to be stuck on the side of the road worrying about what's going on if you're going to be able to get the car fixed. It's always nice to have that roadside kit. Make sure before a long trip you get stocked up on food and water as well. But other than that, that's all I got. If you guys have anything to add to this, please feel free to leave it down in the comments, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and as always, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Thank you guys.